fellow park enthusiasts. It's the Park Geeks here. It's Curt and Justin.
Hello.
And we are at third and final stop on Curt's home park tour. And we're at the Santa Cruze Beach Boardwalk.
Santa Cruze Beach Boardwalk.
He says it's actually very historic, actually.
Yeah, this park's been here over 100 years. They got some very old rides. The big wooden coaster in the background there, Giant Dipper, is coming up on its 100th anniversary.
Good Lord. And they actually have an award from Ace, right?
They do have a plaque. There's a landmark plaque on the roller coaster.
All right, well, let's go ahead and hit that up first. All right, we just got off the Big Dipper, and for a historic coaster, it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. There's a reason it's been here for almost 100 years. It's built in 1924. It's a prior and church design. The builder was Arthur Loop, which actually is the same manufacturer as a carousel. We also have an historic Loop carousel here. A little fun facts from the roller coaster database says the whole ride was built in 47 days, believe it or not, and the price for the opening time was 15 cents per ride. A little bit less than today. Times are different. Times are much different, but it's pretty amazing little ride. Believe it or not, this ride is actually faster than Icebreaker that we just rode down at SeaWorld. I mean, this isn't going to score any big points for things like Iron Gwazi and those types of thrills, but this is a really fun wood coaster at a seaside, and somehow they managed to get 2,600 foot of track crammed into the boardwalk there somehow.
It also has a pretty good start to the ride.
Yeah, it's got a classic, tunnel right at the beginning. You don't find ones this good on very many coasters.
And the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to hop on that yellow coaster you see behind us there, Undertow. So let's go ahead and give that one a shot.
Let's do it.
All right, we just got off of Undertow, and I gotta say, I've seen coasters like this. For me, they always seem to be kind of the same, but this one was pleasantly surprised with this. It's actually different. I mean, you can see it in all like huge twists and turns you see up there.
Yeah, this is more than just your usual spinning wild mouse. It has a spinning element. It has a little bit of the wild mouse switchbacks on it, but after that, the layout goes kind of crazy, and it's really a lot of fun. Even though it only has a top speed of 40 miles an hour, you can still pack a lot of fun in a ride like that. I find this is a very, very enjoyable ride. This is actually the newest ride in the park, opened in 2013. Newest coaster, I should say, in the park from 2013.
Yeah, because I do get a little tired of the switchbacks. That just seems to be how these things operate. But seeing the track layout like this, I wanted to try this thing out.
Yeah, it's got nice. It's got, instead of just the regular drops, it's got kind of swooping curved drops around it. Very nice, very smooth. And one of the most important things for a spinning ride, it doesn't hurt regardless of what your orientation is on the ride. So the engineers really worked that out well.
All right, now there's also a haunted castle attraction here that I've been wanting to see.
Yep, there is.
And I'm a horror buff. Let's check this out.
Absolutely.
Oh, and one last quick thing here before we get on the ride. If this place actually looks a little familiar to you, it should, because where Mark Rober shot his video about how the games here are basically all scanned. I got the photos here to prove it. And I was even surprised to find out just how many movies were shot here. Like Bumblebee was filmed here, Us was filmed here. It's cool when you find out movies get filmed at amusement parks. All right, we just got out of the Haunted Castle, and if you're expecting a spectacle like Haunted Mansion, you're going to be disappointed. I mean, come on, it's Disney. However, what you can expect from this is something that's actually a bit more edgy, which, look, Disney, you're fine, do what you got, do what you do, but when you get older, you kind of want to feel that edgy kid. You want to feel some excitement. And this thing actually does have that with how gruesome it can get.
This is a fun ride. They put this in 2010. This is actually the second version of Haunted Castle that's been here. There was an original version that was smaller and much more compact. Very tight quarters when you're in there. It was actually made it kind of fun because everything was like right in front of you with that one. Back in just before 2010, they actually tore the entire building out and they put this new version in, which is a more modern ride system, much more elaborate effect on it. And the really cool thing about this, the park has been adding to it every year. So every year the ride gets slightly better. And like this year, first time I've been on it in a month, and I've noticed at least 2 new effects that they've added to it. And it's just grown and grown and grown. It gets better every time you ride it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it here for you, but there is an effect that happens in a bayou with an alligator that was my personal favorite. I have never seen an effect like that before.
That was good. I've never seen that one anywhere before either.
All right, now there's actually some more rides down there. One of them is something you mentioned to me called Wipeout.
Yep, the Wipeout.
Okay, well, let's see what this thing is.
All right.
All right, we just got off a Wipeout, and I'm surprised I did not throw up on that.
Yeah, that is a pretty intense spinning ride. It is a Huss Wipeout ride. Pretty generic ride, but they did something unique. They put it indoors, and they put this beautiful mural on the wall, and they have all sorts of lights lighting and effects and music while you're going on. And if you remember from earlier videos, I just love the scrambler in the dark concept. Although this is a wipeout in the dark. And it just makes it a whole lot of fun.
And there's even some blacklight effects in there too. Did you notice those?
Yes, yeah. I think they added that in the last couple of years. That's actually the second mural that's been on the wall. They repainted it a couple years ago, and this time they put some black light paint. So as the different lighting effects goes, sometimes you see one thing, and sometimes you see something else.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool seeing a ride like that indoors. You can do a whole lot when you put a ride in just four walls and a ceiling.
Yeah. It makes it so much more fun than if it just sat outdoors, which is actually where the Wipeout was. The Wipeout was actually in front of the building it's in now. They're just out in the open. It was just your typical ride. They ran it and you got off. And then somebody got the great idea of moving it indoors and putting all the lighting and the sound and everything in. So made it a much better ride.
Other parks, take note.
Yeah.
Okay, now there was another ride there called Ghost Blasters.
Ghost Blasters, yep.
We'll give that a shot.
All right.
You're lucky you've practiced.
Yeah, what can I say?
I think like the Men in Black ride, it's one of those types where you actually creatures and it keeps track of your score. But obviously it's not going to be as intense as Men in Black was.
Right.
But for what it is, it's still had a charm to it.
It's pretty fun. Yeah, it's a Sally Dark ride. Been here since 1999. So I've had quite a bit more practice than you have at shooting it. So I know where all the targets are by now, obviously. That's right. It's a fun little ride. I'll do it anytime. As long as the line's short, I'll definitely do it.
All right, now we got one last ride on here. The Cave Train, it's called?
The Cave Train.
All right, let's see what that's like.
All right.
All right, we just got off the Cave Train, and while I thought, I mean, it's a family ride, so I can't really be expecting a whole lot.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest issue was that there were more statues than there was animatronics. However,
Fair point.
yeah, give credit where credit is due. Part of that was in-house, so I will give it that.
Yeah, it certainly is an interesting idea for a ride for a park like this. According to the Dark Ride database, it's been here since 1961, believe it or not. That's been there a really long time. Went through at least some rehabs and possibly a retheme at one point for a little while. But I think it's a fun, very great thing for a family ride type thing. Long ride too for a dark ride. This is 6 minutes.
I've noticed.
On this one, which is pretty unusual outside of something like a Haunted Mansion ride or something like that, to get a ride that long at a park like this. But I think it fits in well with the park.
And we were actually about to enter Wipeout under the boardwalk. And I would have thought this attraction was part of it, but no, this costs extra. Why is that?
Well, it's an upcharge attraction the park has. It's basically a walk-through haunted house attraction. The unique thing about it is there is no conga line. You go through with your party at your own pace and you kind of just enjoy it.
There's something he's not telling me here. All right, let's see what this is like.
Yep.
Okay, well, we just got out of a fright walk under the boardwalk, and you little shit. Yeah, there were some pretty good surprises in there, especially this little thing with the clown room. That's all I'm going to say. I did not see that coming. The surprise scare at the end was very good.
Yeah,
that's
a good one. They saved the best for the last.
Yeah, they had some good effects. They had some really good props in there.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen some more human actors in there. There was really none. But that's honestly because they can't afford them. You guys need to be careful with what you vote for. But all in all, I definitely had a lot of fun with this thing.
Yeah, it's a very unique attraction. Clearly inspired by the Frankenstein's Castle at Indiana Beach Amusement Park. That's another one of my favorite parks. They have a really nice walkthrough on the attraction there as well. But actually, several times longer than this one. That one also has some very unique elements, which I'm not going to give away. You just have to go and experience it. Now, this is fun.
As far as the park itself goes, I gotta say, this was actually a rather unique park because it really has a good family feel to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look across all over there, you got families there with their kids, they don't have to worry about people in costumes freaking them out, and you also have the beach right next door, and it only costs money if you really want to go on a ride. You can just come, you're welcome to just walk right in and just browse.
Yeah, you can come and hang out on the beach for free, or you can sit there, browse the shops, have a little snack, and whatever you want to do. Just do 1 or 2 rides. They have ride tickets for individual rides, or you get a wristband.
Definitely bring your kids here. Even if you can't afford to go on anything, it's still nice to just come out here and browse and be on the beach and just kick back and relax.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on here. I mean, there aren't very many historic seaside parks left, right? There's only, on the West Coast, there's just this one and Santa Monica, and this one blows that away.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, then you have to go all the way to the East Coast before you start finding some interesting parks over there.
So I would say, yeah, this park definitely gets a thumbs up from the Park Geeks.
Yeah, this is good. I like it.
All right. I'm hungry. Let's go.
Yep, time for dinner.
See you. Take care, everyone.